رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Alhamdulillah, my respected audience, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us so many blessings. Blessings upon blessings, ni'mas upon ni'mas, that so much so that if we even tried to count them, we would not be able to count them. And my respected audience, the biggest blessing of all of these ni'mas is not the ni'mah of wealth, not the ni'mah of age, not the ni'mah of looks, but rather the ni'mah of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. This kalima is very simple to say. It's just one sentence. We say thousands, millions of sentences in a day, billions of sentences in our lives. But this one sentence, this sentence is the difference between a person being successful in this world and the hereafter versus a person failing in this world and the hereafter. And the value of this kalima, it comes that a person will come on the day of judgment in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and his entire life all he did was sin. His entire life all he did was sin. And when it will be told to him that bring his sins in front, and they will be brought at such an amount that it will be in the form of 99 scrolls. And these scrolls will be bigger than the entire world. Each of these scrolls. And upon looking at these scrolls, he will think to himself that I am finished. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him to the nearest meaning that verily, do not fear, no injustice will be done to you on this day. And so it will be told that bring his good deeds. But to his surprise, he will only have one good deed. And it will come down in the form of a small piece of paper. And when it lands on the palm of his hand, on that piece of paper will be this exact kalima written. And this kalima will say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. And this person will look at this small piece of paper and the 99 scrolls that are, in front of him on the scale. And he will think to himself that how will a small piece of paper outweigh these 99 scrolls? And it will be given the command that put this paper on the scale. And to his amazement, to his disbelief, he will see the 99 scrolls start to fly in the air one by one. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him the glad tidings that go and enter the Jannah and be successful for forever. Because this kalima is worth more than the entire 7 heavens, the 7 earths. This kalima, la ilaha illallah, is the most precious thing that is in this world and even beyond this world. And this exact kalima is the entire reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this dunya. Adam alayhi salam, the first prophet, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, underneath your arsh, underneath your throne, why does it say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him that this entire dunya, this entire world, this entire creation, I have created it solely for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Because he is the best of creation. From amongst the humans, he will be the role model. He will be the best of you. And because of him and the love I have for him, I've created this entire dunya. And so Adam alayhi salam, who is a prophet, he is not some regular person. He is the first human being and he is a prophet, a status of prophet. He then asked that, oh Allah, allow me to, be amongst his ummah. That, oh Allah, take away my status as a prophet and allow me to join his ummah as an ummati. Just as a normal person like you and me. Because we are ummati Rasulullah. Adam alayhi salam, the prophet is saying this. Because to become a part of this ummah, to have the benefit of La ilaha illallah, it is such a big blessing. It comes in the hadith to the nearest meaning that the person who has iman equivalent to that even of a mustard seed, he will be given the reward of Jannah. He will be given the glad tidings of Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call from the heavens that take from the fire those who have iman equivalent to that of a grain of rice. And those people will be lifted, dipped into the river of life, and be brought into Jannah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask once again, that take from the fire those who have iman equivalent to that of a mustard seed. You see your mom, or you cook, you ever see them? It's very small. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His infinite mercy, and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will know this, He will say that take out from the fire those who have iman equivalent to that of an iota of iman. An iota means an atom's weight. We cannot compute an atom's weight. We cannot comprehend it. It's so small, so insignificant to an extent, but such a lightweight, something that we can't even measure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that little sincerity. And so from the fire of Jahannam, those people will be brought out and be brought into the Jannah. Our respected brothers and elders, this effort of iman, this was the effort that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came into this dunya. Being the greatest creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He could have came into this world and he was offered. When he went to top of the mountains and he warned them, the Quraysh, that, behind me, if I told you there was an army, would you believe me? They said, oh Muhammad, you are the most truthful. Of course we will believe you. And so he told them that I am bringing the message of La ilaha illallah, that there is a life after death, that there is a punishment after death, there is a success after death. If you take my warning, if you take my message, you follow the commandments of Allah, you will be successful. But if you do not take my message, you will be a failure. And so, what did the Quraysh do? They immediately rejected it. But then, some of the people of the Quraysh, they loved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so they offered Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he was their family. He was part of the Quraysh. And so, they told him that, oh Prophet, oh Muhammad, that we will make you our king. Give up the message of La ilaha illallah. That we will make you our king. And Rasulullah said, no, I will not give up the message of La ilaha illallah. And they told him that if you like, we will line up the 10 most beautiful women. And if you would like one of them, you can take any of them. If you would like all of them, you can have all of them. But stop the message of La ilaha illallah. This was the key. They were trying to stop the effort of La ilaha illallah from the day one. And Rasulullah, because he understood everything, he knew the history, he knew what was happening, he knew the truth. He said, no, I can never stop the message of La ilaha illallah. And so, we look at the hijrah of Rasulullah when he went to Ta'if. When the people of Mecca were not accepting the message of La ilaha illallah, he made the journey to Ta'if. The blazing sand and the blazing heat of Mecca. Today, if a person like us, I go myself to Mecca, we struggle in the heat. Get the umbrella, get the AC, get the water. But Rasulullah some bare, just leather back sandals, just walking through the desert. And subhanAllah, how he was tested, how much, struggle he went through for people like you and me. And so, when he went to Ta'if and he gave the message of La ilaha illallah to the chieftains, he gave that message to them and he said, accept the message, make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala your Rabb, make me your Rasul, and accept the message that is correct. What did they say? They mocked him. They said, get out of our village. And they sent the little children behind him to stone him, to throw stones at the greatest creation ever created. The entire reason why this entire dunya was ever created. They were throwing stones at that very creation. And so Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's holding the blood from touching the ground. Why? Because he knows that the moment that blood touches the ground, the adab from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come. And so the angel comes to him and he says that, oh Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that if you wish, I have commandments. I command the 2 mountains that surround Ta'if. If you wish, I will have these mountains squeezed together and crush the entire people. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, what a person he was, what an understanding he had, compassion he had, and wisdom that he had. That even though he is being abused, he is being mistreated, he's keeping the benefit of the mankind, he's keeping the benefit of the Muslims in front of him. And he says that from amongst their progeny, someone will accept Islam. Nobody at the time was practicing Islam. But because of his sacrifice, from amongst the progeny of Ta'if, Muhammad bin Qasim, he accepted Islam. And he took Islam to Southeast Asia. from where I come from, where from a big group of the brothers in this majma, from a big group of the brothers from this gathering, they all come from where our parents come from. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all of these countries, Muhammad bin Qasim is the one responsible for bringing Islam to those countries. And so my respected brothers and elders, the effort of La ilaha illallah is not an easy one. Today, if somebody wants to become rich, someone wants to become buff, someone wants to become something, he struggles for big periods of time. You see the guy in the gym, he's taking his supplements, he's sweating through it, he's going through the pain, maybe he's heartbroken, maybe he's dealing with something. The guy, he's working the long hours, his boss is abusive, he's barely making the bills paid, but he's making the effort. Why? Because he knows that if he works hard, that there will be a success for him. My respected brothers and elders, if we do not make the effort of La ilaha illallah on ourselves, on our friends, on the people we care about, on the Muslims that are in the world, how do we expect this iman? How do we expect La ilaha illallah to enter our own hearts? One thing I always give the example is that when the angels of death, they approach us, they come and they ask us 3 questions. I'll wrap up with this. They ask us, Man Rabbuka, Man Dinuka, Man Nabiyuka. That who is your Rabb? What is your deen? And who is this person? And so a person, on that moment when he is in the grave, he will not have the ability to talk with his mouth. He will not be smart. Today we think to ourselves, a cop pulls us over, I'll tell him, I'm sick, I got an eye vision, or I got an eye impairment. No. At that point, our mouths will be closed, our brains will be closed, our eyes will be closed. Only what lies in our heart will speak. Our heart will speak on our behalf. And what will our heart say? The heart that had the love of the dunya, he will say money. The heart that had love for the gym, he'll say gym. The heart that had love for dunya will just say dunya. But that heart that sacrificed, and how did he sacrifice? That when the comfort of the blanket was at his house in Fajr, he threw off the comfort of that blanket and he went to Salah. When the money hit his bank account, but he had to pay his zakat, he gave up that money and he paid up that zakat. When he saw that the person who was needy, he gave to the needy. And so when the difficult decisions came that every day afflict every one of us, and we do not get penalized for it, we do not go through real struggles as the people in the other countries do, but that person will create an iman. He will create that struggle because he struggled for it. He went against his desires. But that person, that when the angel of death will come to him and will ask those 3 questions, he will be the one that will give the right answer. Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islami dina wa bi Muhammadin nabiyyu sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And so, my respected audience, my time here is coming to an end. But the reason why I've been talking and the gist and the meaning and the what I want you to take home is that understand that iman will not enter our hearts unless we make effort. The same way how money does not enter our bank accounts until we go to work, the same way iman will not enter our hearts until we give time up from our daily lives and we go and we spend time in the masjid, we do the ibadat of Allah, we read the Quran, we do our fasting, we do itikaf, and we stay in the environment of deen. Then the kalima, then the good energy from the good vibes, all of this stuff will start to embrace our lives, and then we'll start to see a life that is filled with the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With that, inshallah, I conclude. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.